closely with you to advance peace in our region, because you have noted so succinctly that common dangers are turning former enemies into partners. And that's where we see something new and potentially something very promising. It won't be simple, but for the first time in many years, and Mr. President, for the first time in my lifetime, I see a real hope for change. The Arab leaders who you met yesterday could help change the atmosphere, and they could help create the conditions for a realistic peace. These are all great signs on your historic visit. It's a visit that I think has echoed down the ages, because the great Abraham Lincoln is reported to have said that there was no city on earth he so much desired to see as Jerusalem. Well, Mr. President Donald, there's no city on earth where you are more welcome than right here with us in Jerusalem. Welcome to Jerusalem. Welcome to Israel.
Thank you very much, and it's a great honor to be with my good friend, Prime Minister Netanyahu, and of course, Sarah, thank you. And also thank you for that beautiful tour. Melania is still talking about it. Thank you very much. You honored me and Melania by being one of the first world leaders to visit the White House, as you know. And we had a very good and sound discussion. And now you honor us again by welcoming us to your home on my first trip abroad as the President of the United States. This is a land filled with beauty, wonder, and the Spirit of God. I've been amazed by the glorious and beautiful monuments and holy sites and the generosity of your incredible people.
Thank you.
Because it's all about the people. I was deeply moved by my visit today to the Western Wall. Words fail to capture the experience. It will leave an impression on me forever. Today we reaffirm the unbreakable bond of friendship between Israel and the United States. A friendship built on our shared love of freedom, our shared belief in human dignity, and our shared hope for an Israel at lasting peace. We want Israel to have peace. But we are more than friends. We are great allies. We have so many opportunities in front of us. But we must seize them together. We must take advantage of the situation. And there are many, many things that can happen now that would never have been able to happen before, and we understand that very well. That includes advancing prosperity, defeating the evils of terrorism, and facing the threat of an Iranian regime that is threatening the region and causing so much violence and suffering. During my travels, I have seen many hopeful signs that lead me to believe that we can truly achieve a more peaceful future for this region and for people of all faiths and all beliefs, and frankly, all over the world. In my visit to Saudi Arabia, I met with many leaders of the Arab and Muslim world, including King Salman, who treated us so beautifully and really wants to see great things happen for the world. He really does. I got to know him well, and he really does. These leaders voice concerns we all share about ISIS, about Iran's rising ambitions and rolling back its gains, and about the menace of extremism that has spread through too many parts of the Muslim world. I'm encouraged that they pledge cooperation to confront terrorism and the hateful ideology that drives it so hard. America welcomes the action and support of any nation willing to do the hard but vital work in eradicating the violent ideologies that have caused so much needless bloodshed and killing here and all over the world. We are willing to work together. I believe that a new level of partnership is possible and will happen, one that will bring greater safety to this region, greater security to the United States, and greater prosperity to the world. This includes a renewed effort at peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians. And I thank the Prime Minister for his commitment to pursuing the peace process. He's working very hard at it. It's not easy. I've heard it's one of the toughest deals of all, but I have a feeling that we're going to get there eventually. I hope. I'm certain we will have very productive discussions, and we're going to have very productive discussions, in my opinion, with the leaders of other nations also. And I feel strongly about that, because there's a lot of love out there, and people from all nations, even nations that you would be surprised to hear, they want to stop the killing. They've had enough. America stands ready to assist in every way we can. Our deep and lasting friendship will only grow deeper and stronger as we work together in the days ahead. I thank you again for hosting us in this beautiful and ancient land. Truly, it's a land of wonders, and it's my honor to be here with you. Sarah, thank you. Bibi, thank you. I appreciate it very much. Great honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
President Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu not taking any questions, concluding, well, let's listen for a second. Nope, I don't think they're going to take any questions as they leave the room. A joint statement at the end of the president's day here in Jerusalem, and there it looks like they're going to perhaps pose for a photo. Earlier in the day, the president made some remarks that many found curious. He denied something that really hadn't been pointed out before. I want to bring in White House correspondent Hallie Jackson, who's been traveling with the president, who can fill us in a bit more.
Lester, the backdrop to this trip, in particular here to Israel, has been this reporting that in a meeting with the Russian foreign minister in the Oval Office earlier this month, the president revealed sensitive intelligence gathered by the Israelis to the Russians. He was asked about this today by a reporter in one of these rooms with the prime minister, and here's what the president had to say.
I never mentioned the word or the name Israel. Never mentioned it during that conversation. They were all saying I did. So you had another story wrong. Never mentioned the word Israel.
What's notable here, Lester, is something you just said. The president is denying something that really had not been reported. There had not been reports out there that Israel was the source of this intelligence initially, or that the president had said that it was Israel. So that is a bit of an eyebrow-raising comment from the president here today. And I think what you just heard in this joint statement was notable for a couple of reasons. Number one, the attitude of Prime Minister Netanyahu toward President Trump. Remember, these are two men who have known each other a long time. You heard the prime minister talk about the tough language that President Trump has used against Iran, and the idea that achieving peace for the first time in his lifetime, Netanyahu said, seemed feasible, seemed possible. That cannot be taken as anything other than as a swipe against former President Obama, with whom the prime minister had a much cooler relationship. You also saw the president reiterate, as he made history, as you noted, here today at the Western Wall. He wants to make history with some kind of a peace deal. Just earlier this spring, I remember he was at the White House, and he said, maybe it's easier than people think. Decades of presidents going back might have something else to say about that.
He just met with Mahmoud Abbas, I believe, in the White House.
That's exactly right. Now you're hearing a different tone from him. Perhaps he's had a bit of a reality check, talking about how he's heard this is one of the toughest deals that there is. This visit largely symbolic. We do expect him tomorrow morning in Bethlehem to meet with the Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas, and we'll see how that conversation goes.
But notable both in Saudi Arabia and here, Iran has figured largely.
Absolutely. This seems to be some of the messaging that the president has been pushing on this trip overseas. His first international international trip of his administration, of course, and that is trying to unite Middle Eastern countries against the threat of Iran. And allying himself more with the Saudi foreign policy than we have seen in the past.
All right. Hallie Jackson, thanks very much. I know you've had long journeys and more to come as this trip continues. We'll have full coverage throughout the day on MSNBC and on NBCNews.com. And we hope you'll join us this evening as I anchor NBC Nightly News from here in Jerusalem with a complete wrap-up. For now, I'm Lester Holt, NBC News, Jerusalem.